Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is HD Starcraft, and I'm coming at you guys with a game here. This is going to be a really good one. I'm actually going to be doing a bunch of games this week, probably a set a day, and I'm going to be doing the top games from WCS Season 2, the finals, which is basically when they conglomerate all the best players from America, Europe, Korea. They put them all together into this final, basically group stage, and they play it out into the grand finals. And obviously, I already did the grand finals of the WCS Season 2. I casted those games. It was Bomber versus Jaedong, but there were so many good games throughout this tournament, and I'm gonna pick the top ones that I'll be casting for you guys, and this is gonna be one of them here. It is going to be the blue Protoss player in the bottom left-hand corner. It is, of course, none other than Naniwa. He is under the barcode name right now, but it is Naniwa. He is the blue Protoss in the bottom left-hand corner, and in fact, it's just double barcode, so I'm not even going to bother bringing up the scoreboard. And Naniwa is going to be playing against another fearsome Terran player from Korea. This is a guy I've never actually casted before. He used to be under the name Bogus, but it is Innovation for Team Acer, so it is going to be Innovation versus Naniwa, and both of these guys are extremely good. Innovation is one of those Terran players like, you know, Ryung or Tasia. They're just almost unbeatable. They're one of the best, and for somebody outside of Korea to be able to take out a player like this is very, very hard to do. But Naniwa is a world-class Protoss player. You know, he actually, I think in one of the Dream Hacks played against Jaedong and was able to defeat him in the grand finals, if I'm not mistaken. So Naniwa, you know, he is one of those guys that, you know, one of the select few, the chosen few, outside of Korea who actually can stand toe-to-toe with, you know, Korea's finest. So this, I think, is going to be a really good game. Once again, I'm going to be casting, you know, a set a day here, and or a set, you know, maybe every other day. I'm not too sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be casting the best sets from WCS Season 2, and I hope you guys are excited for that. This is from the group stage, where they put in obviously Naniwa from WCS Europe, and then they put in Innovation from WCS Korea, and they put them into the group stage. So this is a best of 3, and very excited to see how this is going to go down here. And we'll just have to see what happens. We do have a Nexus coming down for Naniwa. Innovation here also going to be going for a command center at the front door. And things are looking pretty standard right now, as there is also a Reaper that is on the map. And I actually haven't casted a good Protoss versus Terran in some time. I feel like I've been doing a lot of Terran versus Zerg. And yeah, a lot of Terran versus Zerg, and some Zerg versus Protoss, but I haven't been doing too much Terran versus Protoss. And speaking of which, I need to do some more mirror matchups. I hopefully out of these replays that I'll be selecting from WCS, maybe there'll be some good mirrors in there for you guys as well. But we'll just see what happens, and hope you guys are excited. Let your friends know. I'm going to be casting some pretty sweet games here. And on top of that, do make sure to subscribe at YouTube. /HD Starcraft. Hit that button on the top left-hand corner. Doesn't hurt. And anyways, we'll see what happens here, as we do have a gateway, a robotics facility for Naniwa here. Remember, Naniwa was the one who kind of perfected, maybe not perfected, but established the Naniwa build, the one gateway, one into Nexus against Zerg. Against Protoss is a little different. We do obviously see him going for the expansion, and there's a Reaper now that's going to be flying in here, gonna try to get some damage done, but with the Stalker already there, that Reaper isn't going to be able to accomplish much, as Stalkers are a hard counter to Reapers. Do have a Widow Mine on production now from that factory, and Widow Mines are really interesting, I think, to watch in Protoss, in Terran versus Protoss, because you see them so much already against Zerg, but against Protoss you have to remember they do a little bit more damage against shields, which basically allows them to, you know, wreck Stalkers and Zealots really quickly. So they do have a place in Terran versus Protoss, and that was actually Blizzard's original design intention. So we'll see how Innovation plays this out here. He's actually going for a bit of an awkward timing here with 5 or 6 Marines, and this platoon of Marines is going to try to go for some probe kills. There is a Widow Mine also coming in, but I don't think it's going to be able to... Oh my god, it gets underground! An unbelievable timing timing right there for the Widow Mine. Now, remember guys, because the Sentinel Missile obviously does a little bit more damage versus shields, it is able to one-shot a Stalker. So it is quite deadly. It's also able to one-shot Zealots as well. But, you know, without that additional damage being done to shields, it would not be able to kill off, you know, Stalkers or Zealots. And now finally the Observer does come out, and it will reveal that Widow Mine. So, Naniwa able to clean that up, actually with minimal losses. You know, he didn't, you know, panic. He didn't go crazy when he saw that that attack was coming in. He just pulled his probes out of the way, brought an Observer out as quickly as he could, and he was able to counter that pretty easily. Now he's gonna have to deal with this medevac that is gonna be flying into the main base, and he is going for Colossus right now. I don't know if he's gonna have enough time to get those out. Obviously this attack is gonna, you know, delay him a little bit, but he brings his Stalkers in position and he snipes the medevac out. Oh wow! And Naniwa shutting down the harassment and using a combination of Photon Overcharge and 4 Stalkers to show Innovation who is boss. And I guess now Innovation is going to have to pull back and rethink his strategy. He's not going too heavy into mines anymore. He's actually cut production, and now he's going to focus more on the classic bio, as we do have stim, combat shields, and +1 weapons on the way. But usually, you know, when... Oh, nice snipe right there of the Observer for Innovation. But usually when you lose that initial drop, that initial medevac, it is not only, you know, does it hit you in terms of your supply, but it's a morale hit as well, because it's, you know, you think in the back of your mind, well, those were Marines that I could have kept alive, and now they're not going to be able to do any more. They're not going to be able to do the damage that I wanted them to do. So it always hurts a little bit to lose that initial medevac. And back in Innovation, back in Naniwa's base, he's actually adding on quite a few gateways here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways total. And it looks like we do have a medevac that's flying right now, 1 to the north and 1 Marine on the ground, and it looks like Innovation here is preparing to do some kind of a drop into the main base, but there's a photon cannon at the natural expansion, and look at this really quick Colossus from Naniwa, and I can't help but feel like, yeah, he's down in bases, he's only got 2 bases. You'd expect the Protoss to get a 3rd base at some point here, but he has got a really quick Colossus. And Colossus, as we all know, against Bio from Terran, it just rips them apart. And now we do have that Nexus on the way, but it was canceled off. Great harass by Innovation. Just had his medevac, I think, there at the right time. And he was able to snipe out that Nexus, forcing the cancellation. Now going to hide one of the Marines behind this mineral patch, presumably to take out the probe when it comes back around. And we do have troops now moving into the middle from Innovation. Troops also moving into the middle from Naniwa, and it looks like Naniwa just trying to make sure that this 3rd expansion is clear so he can get another Nexus down. He will be able to start it as that command center, that orbital command, actually finishes up for the Terran player, and that Marine does end up revealing itself. These Colossus are ready to take him down, though. Ouch. So that poor guy does die. We do have a couple of drops going off, though, inside the main base, and Innovation dropping huge into the main. Mothership core is here, but it all it can do is Photon Overcharge, obviously, and these Marines and Marauders are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, the Protoss force is being called back home, but there are forces in the middle of the map waiting to intercept. Meanwhile, these medevacs do pull the Marines and Marauders out of there, as there was too many forces in the main base, and at the same time, it looks like the forces that were waiting to intercept the Protoss as they were coming out of the 3rd base are not manned nearly enough, and these Colossus were able to push them out as well. So pretty good right there, I think, from Naniwa. And you can see that the resources lost right now is quite even, 1475 per side. But Innovation is still pressuring the front door here. He's got a lot of reinforcements. And will Naniwa's quick Colossi here be enough to deter this attack? There are Vikings now in the skies. It looks like Naniwa's got the better concave, but he's going to lose one of his Colossus here. Great snipe by Innovation as a Time Warp field comes down, but the medevacs quickly evacuate the ground troops underneath, you know, escaping the Time Warp, and now depositing the Marines and Marauders inside the main base. Don't forget that these forces, actually both sides have upgrades, +1/+1 for each side. And look at this. Naniwa snipes out one of the medevacs and forces once again Innovation to get the hell out of his base. But at the same time, Innovation hasn't given up yet. He's bringing more reinforcements. He's attacking this location here at the 3rd. He's going to try to take out this base. More reinforcements continue to stream into the middle of the map. There are medevacs here, of course, but the medevacs are getting sniped out by these stalkers. Really nice control by Naniwa. And he's got Blink, so he blinks down to the low ground and takes out that medevac. And this is starting to get kind of costly for the Terran player. You can see that he's lost 5,000 in resources already. Now gonna tell all of his troops to get back home because this attack is not working out for the Terran player. And Naniwa has been able to shut this down with really good defense. You know, having his troops at the right place at the right time. And, you know, good control as well, focusing down medevacs first, knowing that that's the point where the Terran can retreat at. And now it looks like Naniwa is the one who's starting to make a bit of a counterattack. You can see that he does have +2 weapons on the way, excuse me. And it looks like he's going to push into this army. And Innovation can't do much about it. He's got to pull SCVs off the line. This is not good for the SCVs. A lot of them are going to go down here. And 16, 18 SCVs have gone down already, but maybe Innovation, by pulling those SCVs and sacrificing them, he'll be able to hold off this army from breaching his natural or his 3rd base. It looks like he'll just have barely enough, but more reinforcements arrive for Naniwa, and it's a micro battle now as the Colossus pulls out of harm's way. The medevacs evacuate whatever troops they can, bringing them back up to the natural expansion, but that was a costly trade-off for Innovation, losing 25 SCVs, and more SCVs and meals are going to drop down here as these 4 zealots go to work at the 3rd expansion. And yeah, those SCVs are going to go down. Finally, Innovation does pull his troops to save what he can, but the damage has been done. Obviously, mules can help mitigate the losses somewhat, but I'm really liking where Naniwa stands right now in this matchup. The first game from the WCS in the group stage, and Naniwa is doing quite well. And we'll see what Innovation can do here. He really needs to get it together. He looks like he's going for +2/+2 right now as the Protoss is rounding up really tier 3. He's got Psionic Storm, Archons, and these quick Colossus, this strategy from Naniwa, I've got to say, it worked out pretty well for him. Rush the Colossus, and he knows that once he gets Colossus in mass, it's just so hard for Bio to be able to deal with that. And in the hands of somebody like Naniwa, who's really been able to keep most of his Colossus alive this game, you can see this guy has 28 kills and took quite a beating throughout this game. But Naniwa has been able to keep most of his Colossus alive, and now he's gearing up for another attack. Not to say Innovation isn't out of it yet. He's actually only down by about 15 supply. He does have the start here, and he's going to go in with his whole army, but he's dealing with Psionic Storm. Going to have to really micro these Marines and Marauders and get out of Storm's way. He needs to keep the medevacs alive as well, using Ignite Afterburners. He's continuing to stutter step micro to stay away from the Archons and the Colossi. Those laser beams are just roasting his biological forces on the ground, and it looks like he's going to have to call GG. So the first game of this set is going to go to Naniwa, the Swedish Protoss, with an amazing start and a really cool strategy there, opening up those early Colossus. And Innovation, one of Korea's best Terran players, getting taken out here by Naniwa, the foreigner. So we're going to go on to game 2 and see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next cast, and this is HD signing out.